Hi, my name is Zuleika Sanchez, and today is August 7th, 2022. And today I will be talking about my interpersonal communication plan. The agenda for this assignment is as follows. I will be defining interpersonal communication, how my behavior blend and background has affected my communication skills, my communication barriers, my goals and strategies, and my plan of action. According to Peterson, good and effective communication is just as important in your professional and personal life. Listening well matters for coworkers and for the clients. It helps keep your friendship and relationships vital in your life. As a psychosocial rehabilitator, the majority of my work is communicating with clients and their families. The main characteristics of interpersonal communication is that it is person-to-person communication. In our current time, technology has expanded our way of communicating with each other, and this has changed how we communicate with one another. In the information age, we must send, receive, and process huge numbers of messages every day. However, effective communication is not just about exchanging information, but understanding the emotions behind the information you are receiving. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in New York City, Harlem to be more specific. My parents are immigrants from the Dominican Republic, and most of the people I was surrounded by were all Dominican or Latino. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad worked most of the time. My family is Catholic, but my parents were people that questioned things and did not follow all of what the Catholic Church was all about. Growing up, witnessing how my parents were made me start questioning things at an early age. Both my parents were not good at communicating, especially when it came to my siblings and I mental health. They never wanted to talk about it and made it seem like we were fine and nothing was wrong. I think that this could have affected my communication skills with others, especially because I have issues with social interactions. My mother has a lot of anxiety and is agoraphobic, and so my siblings and I were inside of our apartment most of our childhood. I feel like being locked up inside and not socializing much hindered my communication a bit. The expression behavior blend is described in the Uniquely You assessment. There are 4 types of behavior and temperaments that are blended to create a unique personality for each individual. Using Hippocrates' 4-temperament model of human behavior as a template, Carbonell presents 4 basic personality types that blend together to make up each unique individual, also known as a DISC personality model, which is as follows. D's are dominant, directing, and decisive. I's are influence and inspiring. S's are submissive and sensitive. C's are critical, cautious, and competent. There are 2 sections to the behavioral blend, and that is what is expected of the individual and who the person truly is. My expected blend is a high S type, and who I truly am is a high SC type or a CS type. People expect me to be a nice and kind individual. I feel like others want me to be sensitive and loving as well as sacrifice myself for them. Because of this, I end up being viewed as vulnerable, and people feel like they can take advantage of my kindness. I do not like being the center of attention and prefer to be behind the scenes and just not be noticed. I am people-oriented, so I can be supportive and be there for others. Who I truly am is considered to be the most popular type according to the Uniquely You assessment, which is being both people-oriented and task-oriented. I am very reserved and passive. Some people say that when I am around, a rush of calm energy seems to come from me and they feel calm. I am insecure about my abilities and lack confidence in myself. I feel like it's because of my lack of confidence that I have trouble with communication. Whenever I have an idea or talk about something, sometimes people would disregard what I said or completely ignore me while I am talking. It feels like what I have to say is not important. So I just stay quiet most of the time and not say anything. But because of this, I am not able to express my feelings, and I bottle them up until I blow up or my emotions just kind of spill over, where I become extremely emotional and I am constantly crying and upset. Even though I have trouble being the speaker, I am always there to listen to someone. I am a very good listener, however, I do tend to do ritual listening. But I have noticed that when I am with a client, I don't do this. I work with children that have a lot of trauma in their lives, and listening to them is extremely important to me and for them. Schultz and Budzinski mentioned that as counselors, we need to learn how to listen to others. Sometimes we listen but judge those that we are listening to. We need to learn to listen and try to understand where that person comes from before we even make a comment and what they are telling us. Franz and Weichel mentions that while listening for some people is difficult, having effective communication skills is equally as important. Communication barriers that are challenging for me are ritual listening and wanting to fix things for someone instead of listening. I have noticed that I would just sit there and stare at the speaker and want to jump into the conversation as the person is talking because I want to talk about my experience and share my story. Peterson says that ritual listeners may appear calm, but inside they are dying to speak and take that shot like a boxer would in a ring. As a counselor, I need to be careful about doing this because I should not make the session about myself. The session is supposed to be about the client. One could share some experiences with their clients, but you must be careful about what you share with them. Some of the other communication barriers would be rehearsing, which goes with ritual listening, daydreaming, and competing. These all make me an ineffective interpersonal communicator because I want to put the spotlight on myself and tell my story. I want to become a better communicator because it is an essential part of my current job as a psychosocial rehabilitator and for future jobs. My goal is to try to implement some of the techniques that Peterson mentions in his book, Why Don't We Listen Better? When someone is talking, I will have to bite my tongue when I think of a similar story that I want to tell. Also, instead of trying to talk about myself, I should respond as a listener. I currently work with youth in my community, and I feel like this has helped me in being a better listener because I do activities that they want to do and not what I would like to enjoy. I listen to what they say and just try to give them choices on how they could approach a situation better. My plan of action is to make sure that I am actively listening and make sure the person's feelings are validated. Focus more on the person or client that is talking. Respect what others say because it is important to them. I should be mindful and be present when someone else is speaking. In conclusion, this assignment has led me to examine myself as a communicator more thoroughly. I realize that there are a lot of things that I do wrong as a communicator and a listener. This course has taught me how to become a good listener and communicator for my clients. Communication is a collaborative process that has two levels. The first is the sharing of knowledge and information, and the second is deepening the interaction between you and another individual. This assignment has helped me understand what I need to do in a professional setting and in a personal setting as well when it comes to communication.